Yeah.
All right. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Wowhead Weekly number 117. We still have quite a bit of news for you today, even though it was kind of a slow week in the world of Warcraft. Before I get into all of that, I would like to introduce you to my lovely co-host, Wowhead site manager, Perculia.
Hey everyone. Today is the best news week because we have Traveler Pepe, and if you're watching live, sorry for the delay. My headset died, so you get to see my hair fight with the headset. But we'll get to Pepe at the end. I think we're giving away a Pepe in chat. And we'll run through the PTR stuff quickly, and then we have a lot of live news. And yeah, I really like this PTR news because it's fun.
Yeah,
All sorts of
all
good
right, so
things.
this is a true story, guys. Perk literally messaged me, like PM'd me to tell me that this helmet is back in the game again.
Yay! We data mined it during the 7.2 PTR, but this was a model, and we're like, oh, maybe this is some, weird NPC encounter, but no, it's an actual helm you can get that's like item level 600, and there are versions for cloth, leather, mail, and plate. So we're getting the helm. It's a transmog
What?
item.
Like, I don't. Okay, wait, so you think this is part of Trial of Style?
I think it's part of the Dark Moon Fair minigame, which we'll discuss in the next section, because one of the NPCs related to it is wearing that helm. So
Oh.
I think it's like the death metal thing, and if you do well in the death metal thing, you get this helm.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So
Well, and since we're
we'll
on that
see.
topic, I'll
Yeah.
go ahead and let me switch it to the death metal thing that she's talking about is this guitar.
It's so cool. So I think what's going on with the guitar is that we know that there is this NPC encounter called Blightbore, and we found a lot of dialogue implying that there's this death metal like dance or music thing you have to do, and the proc on it is called like dish out some death metal, and it transforms you into a fan that's wearing that cage helm. And we found some
Okay.
spells where you data mine it, and it's like, oh, like be his #1 fan, or keep up with the beat, and you'll be the top high scorer. So I think that this is going to take place in that cave area we found in 7.2, where they're setting up for a concert that's more death rock than etc.
Mm-hmm.
And we found a quest that's called Death Metal Night. So I think all of that's related.
I mean, that makes sense that all of that would be related. There was some other stuff too, like little decorations for the Dark Moon Fair and stuff. God, they're really into like little events and holidays lately. They're on a real kick for
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. But I am always pro anytime they update the Dark Moon Fair because I feel like that was. I have like very vivid memories of when I just first started playing WoW and the Dark Moon Fair would come into town and they'd be like, don't even bother. There's nothing to do there. And now there's like so much to do with the Dark Moon Fair. So it's like a weird nostalgia thing. I appreciate it. Do you think that that guitar is going to be something that you'll be able to transmog or?
Oh, definitely. I think it's going to be like the Sun Loot and the Arcanite Ripper.
Oh, all right.
And the item level is really low, so I think kind of low level characters can transmog to it, and it's super cool. It's also a mace, so I know a lot of druids are really excited that when they're not bear form, they could be transmogging to this guitar.
It's really cool,
Um,
especially if
yeah.
you're a Tauren, because then you would just straight up look like ETC, which I fully approve of. While we were talking about that, I just want to take a moment to say thank you to AGANEJ2 for subscribing to us with Twitch Prime. And this is our obligatory moment to remind everybody that if you are subscribed to us with Twitch Prime, you do need to manually resubscribe every month. It will not auto resubscribe for you. Now, the next section of stuff that we have to talk about has to do with voice lines, and I'm going to let you guys hear the first one, but the other two are kind of long, so we'll direct you to where you can find them and talk about them a little, but check this out.
Yeah. So we have okay.
Sorry, I know you can't hear it. I'll restart it.
Yeah.
Look upon the true face of death, and know that your end comes soon.
So there's about twice as much of that, where that came from, if you want to hear the rest. And that is labeled as an ephemeral.
Yeah, I think that's it. Ephemeral dread. So spooky old god stuff.
Yeah, and now what do you think that what do you think that is related to?
So Xalatath has been really chatty for the whole expansion and kind of talks about old gods here and there and got some new voiceover lines in 7.2.
Mm-hmm.
And like Il'gynoth has a bunch of lines, and people are always speculating that like N'Zoth is related to like the Broken Isles in some form. So I think they're just, teasing more and more lore related to the old gods and continuing that storyline. Maybe set up for 7.3, I'm not sure, but I think it's definitely interesting. It could also be related to some of the Magni stuff that's going on, because we also data mined some voiceovers for Magni, which is like a Titan scenario.
Yeah.
And, the old gods go along with the Titans.
Yeah, and that's like 3.5 minutes long. If you guys want to watch these or listen to either of these, they're on Wowhead's YouTube channel, youtube.com/Wowhead. We also have voice lines from Chromie's quest line that's coming in 7.25 as well.
Yeah, we discussed that a bit last week. And, last week we just had the text, and now we have the voice lines for the text that we data mined. And Blizzard said that I believe in the next PTR build we'll be able to actually go through part of the Chromie quest line. So we'll do like our usual video and the write-up and screenshots.
Excited about that. People love Chromie.
I know, she sounds so sassy. I love how she's like, "Oh, Allie, I'll help you with the Death Knights." Also, wait, I don't know, do we need like a brief spoiler tag?
Sure,
or just like a sentence?
It's up.
Okay, so Rathian makes a brief appearance, and he's still mysterious. We data mined a few more voiceover lines where he's like, "Oh, I'm by the Asudian Dragon Shrine, but like, I'm not doing anything spooky here. Like, you should look at the Legion instead, Chromie." So he shows up in some form, and that's always cool because he was originally in the Legion beta in High Mountain, but then they changed the storyline, and people were like, when will he be back? So he's back.
He's back.
And that, yeah.
He's back.
And spoiler.
Yep. And so again, if you guys want to hear those voice lines before they are out in the game, you can hear them over at Wowhead's YouTube channel, youtube.com/Wowhead. And while we were talking about that, I just want to take a moment to say thank you to Raquel, Nipper1111, and Okanda for subscribing to our channel with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. Moving on to the next part. This I was really excited about, and we have a video of this so that we can actually watch it. But in patch 7.2.5, there is a new micro holiday coming called the Moonkin Festival. Now, did you, this video is, the audio isn't really important. I've just got it kind of going next to us. I'm sorry, Perk can normally see what's going on in something. Everything is just wrong today.
Technologically, like a Demon Hunter where
I don't know.
I like spectral sight, so I'm like, oh, there's a pause.
There's a pause. Yeah, so, but it's a cute little holiday. Do we know when about that's going to happen? Is that on a calendar yet or no?
It's just on the PTR testing calendar for now, so you can log on to the PTR now and do it, but obviously it's not going to be, in April. I'm not sure when it will be, but, my guess would be sometime in the fall, maybe, because we had the hippogriffs in the spring, and, they're both kind of cute baby birds. It's so cute, though. You get to watch the Moonkin dance and nap in Moonfire, and then you get a baby Moonkin companion, and you have to get the special item to understand what they're saying. And then the Moonkins tell you they want you to save their friend. And once you save their friend, they're really happy, and they have really cute lines like, "I love you, you're the best, you're so awesome." And you can keep feeding them berries, and you get more of them. And they're really funny when they want berries. They're just like, "Berry, berry, I want a berry."
Oh my
God.
God.
You can have a little Moonkin army. They're adorable.
Yeah, anything that involves baby Moonkins, I'm there, because baby Moonkins are very, very cute. Now, as
that would be so cute. Like, if the holiday came out when they're like, "Oh, we have a Moonkin plush," that would be adorable.
Well, what's so upsetting to me is that a lot of the ideas that they've had for micro holidays, like, people would be so much more into doing them if they had a little reward. And I understand the idea of not wanting to make people feel forced to do them. But I feel like without any sort of reward, it accomplishes the very opposite. It makes people less likely to go do them. Because even if it's like a fun event that a lot of like love and care was put into, if people don't get to walk away with something, a lot of times they just won't do it.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because we actually have a micro holiday going on right now on live servers, which we'll, get into in a few minutes. And it is really cool. Like, you get a guard disguise, but it's only for one day. And you even have temporary titles, and people are like, oh, like, I want this title full time. And it's like, well, the micro holiday should be longer, because imagine if something was only for one day and you got like a permanent item. Someone could be like, oh, I was off on a business trip, or I was sick, or I was on finals, and now I don't get this for a year,
Yeah, but I mean, that's how holidays are now already, and I don't really think there's anything wrong with that.
They can be expanded to a week versus a day.
I mean, but like Pirates Day is a kind of like a micro holiday that was in game beforehand. I don't know. I feel like there's all these moments of like they're trying to accommodate someone, but like I feel like, I don't know, I'm not behind the scenes, I don't know the numbers or whatnot, but like, who is better to accommodate? The general player base or this one specific person who's going to be bummed if they miss out? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the idea of not giving rewards because they don't want people to feel forced to do it. Like, the people who feel forced to do those kind of things is a very tiny, 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 little tiny, itty-bitty fraction of the player base. Like, why are we accommodating the 1 in 100,000 people that can't control themselves, as opposed to accommodating the other 900, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I had another idea where maybe if it's just like a one-off thing, they don't have to worry about balance or rewards for a long period of time. Yeah. But when it suddenly becomes like, oh, this goes into your toy box, or here's a mount you can collect, or like, here's a piece of gear that might be useful. I don't know if that's like bogs down the process and things would take longer to create or have a longer review process and they wouldn't be able to churn these out as fast. I'm not sure, but I do feel like the micro holidays are very creative, and people always complain that the regular holidays in Azeroth are getting kind of stale. So I do hope they convert some of them into full-time holidays, and maybe they're just using this as like a sandbox of ideas now to see what sticks and what doesn't. And they'll be like, oh, after 6 months, we've learned that these holidays are popular, like these types of things are cool, so we're gonna, make them into a bigger thing.
Yeah, I guess that's where like I understand the idea of that, but for someone like me, if you got something that maybe it was a wand that turned any critter into a Moonkin for 5 minutes, I have no idea, like that's not a thing, but let's just say
I would like that.
So it'd be a good thing.
I like that. That would be
right. Like if that was the thing, and I'm not saying it has to be a toy. Maybe it's an item that stays in your inventory or in your bank, whatever. Like I would do it. I would 100% go do it. And it's not about needing to do it. It'd be like, oh, that's really cool. I want to go do that. Whereas like if I get absolutely nothing from it but the experience, there are some things that like I would want to do. Like I definitely want to do the balloon festival, because like that's a whole like adventure, and it's not really about, I don't know, but it just seems like if you're gonna go save a baby Boomkin's friend, like you'd think they would reward you with these berries or something. Like even if it's just something silly and small, it just seems like how are they even gonna get valid data of what is worth expanding into a full holiday when so many people? Go ahead. No, it's okay.
I just think it would be fun if like if they gave you an item that could remind players that the holiday's coming up again. Like if you're a new player and say the auction house dance party happened in the spring and it's the fall. Like if you just started playing, you wouldn't know that it exists. But if you see someone, walking around, with the cool like dance party or a disco ball, you'd be like, whoa, this is so cool. Like, let me learn how to get this. Oh, this is in 4 months. Like, I'll keep playing, or I'll look forward to this.
Yeah, and I've told this story on Wowhead Weekly before, but like I didn't know about any WoW holidays at all. Zero. I had no idea they existed until I ran into a player who had Mr. Wiggles out in a dungeon. And I was like, where did you get that? And she was
I had a similar experience too. It's like, like you inspect someone in Ironforge or Orgrimmar, and it's like, oh, they have this cool piece of armor. I need to get this for transmog, or like I want to get a cool mount, so I, look, cool next to everyone else that's AFKing. And yeah, I think something with a baby Moonkin would be awesome, as well as the dance party, because that was really fun to preview. Like they had it's like lasers and stuff, and I don't know. I feel like that should be.
I'm totally with you. I feel like a lot, especially like when we talked about the Encourage holiday, like there's just so many opportunities for them to expand upon these things, and then I don't even know if they're getting, and I understand the idea of not wanting people to feel forced to do it, but you also should want people to feel incentivized to do it. And I feel like that's a line right now that's not in the correct place.
Yeah, like right now the volunteer holiday is going on right now, and you get these special, you like salute a guard, or that's a little out of order. We'll discuss in more detail. But basically, there are these temporary titles you can get, and it would be really cool if they were permanent titles in some form, like, like Mythic Defender of this city because I killed 250 things. And
even if you could use them for a little more than a day, right? Like, even if, like, say the event is only one day, but then for the next 2 weeks, you can wear that title.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's also, with how short they are, like, the holiday started at 1 a.m. today, and a lot of people are at work, and they're not going to be, playing, like, 1 a.m., before. They're going to be asleep.
Yeah.
So there's not actually much time to do these, and maybe if they lasted another day, or if they were short but had a cool reward, you'd be like, okay, I'm really going to make the time to log on Friday night and, do volunteer card.
Yeah, well, I'm still very on the, I mean, you said last week that you thought that they should at least have a breadcrumb quest or something that, like, leads people to these, and I fully agree, because I feel like the only reason I know about these micro holidays is because of Wowhead. I 100% would not know they existed if I was in game, because there's nothing... You'd have to look at the calendar, which is not something I guess I normally do, because that's not how we schedule raids or anything. So, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of it comes from a place of, like, why would you want your developers to waste their time creating something that a lot of people are going to use? I agree.
Like, if you're doing something cool, you should, make it awesome, especially... As we'll discuss in the Q&A, there's this big debate, like, is 7.2 a big patch, and, like, what's content you can consume? Is it class specific? And if it's class specific, the average player is only seeing a 12th of it. So it's like, make these micro holidays that everyone can see something really awesome and big and huge.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree completely. So moving on from our 8-minute Moonkin Festival talk. Also in the data this week, we found this mount. It is not the guitar. Ignore that. It is this guy, this flame scorpion. He is a lost ember spit scorpion who will be available in the I give up. I give up on words. I'm just done.
He is in the Molten Front, and this was discovered by Valneros on Petopia, who's been discovering lots of hunter tames and PTRs like all the Wolfhawks. And
he's a tame, not a mount. My bad. I'm sorry. I think I just said he was a mount.
He would also be a cool mount.
He'd be dangerous.
And and they added him partially because in 7.2, hunters could get this appearance through unintended means, and Blizzard hotfixed that out. But then they gave hunters an intended way to get the scorpion. So you can start preparing for this now if you have a hunter alt by making sure you have done the Hyjal quest and the initial Molten Front quest, because that zone is gated. You can't just go in there and see the tame. So get all that done, and then you can get in there in 7.2.5.
Yep. So is that it for our PTR news?
I mean, basically, like, there's always a lot of class changes going on Blue Post, but it's all a work in progress. So, like, they changed a lot of Tier 20 set bonuses. Some we don't know what they are yet. For example, the Paladin Holy bonuses, a lot of people didn't love, and they were changed to not yet designed. So not really much to say, about that sort of thing. Just that, there's lots of class changes, and I've personally been starting the Wowhead kind of master list of patch notes and Blue Post, because I know everyone always really likes that when I sort of compile everything that's been done throughout the whole PTR,
it's so hard to go through. Yeah, it's so hard to go through all the individual ones. So before we get into live news then, I just want to take a moment to say thank you to Loki Tripper for subscribing to us. We really appreciate that. Now, as far as what's going on in live World of Warcraft, a new quest came up on the Broken Shore, of course, on Tuesday, and it is for the quest Mark of the Sentinex, which will send you out to get 100 beacons, which a lot of them drop from elites. I wish I had known this. Now, does that count for ones that are already in your bags, or is it you actually have to go collect?
So these are like quest beacons. They're special Sentinex things.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting because, like, normally when you do the Sentinex, you want to keep farming the low and mid-tier ones to keep getting nether shards.
Yeah.
Because when you summon the elite, like, the Sentinex shuts down, and then that's not very good for farming when it's shut down. So this is kind of a different type of behavior. Like 40 to 50 drop from the elites, and smaller amounts drop from the second tier elites. I believe they hotfixed this to be easier midweek, and as usual, it gives you 1,500 reputation.
That's a lot of reputation.
Yeah, it looks like every week we'll have, like, the weekly quest will give you that amount. So, that's not bad, and make sure whenever the Dark Moon Fair or another rep buff is up, you are doing it to get even more rep.
Yeah. Yeah, I got my first couple rep like the 10K caches this week. Really
nice.
Disappointing. I got 600 gold out of all of them. It's just my luck. In the world of the Broken Shore right now, the Mage Tower is up in North America.
It will be up very soon.
It will be up. When is will?
Well, it's at 81% now, so probably
like tomorrow.
2 hours. Yeah.
So we'll be up. It will be up very soon, and that will allow people to once again give a shot at their hidden artifact appearance, their challenge artifact appearance, not hidden, my bad. The challenge artifact appearance, and a bunch of them have been nerfed and tweaked since the first week, but I don't think any of them are resto. I haven't even bothered.
Yeah, I think the tank one has gotten a few tweaks, including a nerf specifically to the protection paladin challenge, and I think that one, the mobs started off with higher HP than some of the other challenges.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're getting lots of guides up. I think at the time of talking, we definitely have over half of these detailed guides done per spec, and Katsuki's working on getting even more of them done, and we're getting the remaining ones up, hopefully by the time the North American one is up.
Yes.
Before we go into the next thing, Sass is reminding me, the Traveler Pepe giveaway keyword in chat is one word, Pepe the Traveler. So if you want this Pepe.
Yeah, I love too. He's so cute. He's my favorite Pepe they've come out with so far. I love his little backpack. It has a pouch and you can put stuff in it.
I know. We will talk about Pepe again shortly as we get back to serious building stuff. But yeah, Pepe the Traveler, one word, if you want to enter and get one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so going back to buildings, just a note on the command center, because at first everyone was like, this building is like boring and terrible, I never want to build it. I just made a note of this because I've been really digging the command center recently. So we had this war effort buff up, which was really OP for rep, because it gives you more Legion Fall supplies, a chance at supplies when you're doing activities, and that means that I was getting 50 supplies per world quest. So
that's a lot. That's double.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that was really cool. So don't discount the command center. When that buff's up, it's amazing. And they made the challenge missions you get more exciting. So like the first week, they just had that one for the AP token. And now when you get to the command center, they have 3 different missions up at the same time. One is for like 7,000 nether shards. Another is for 500 war supplies. And then you have the huge AP token. And I think all the threats like vary based on your spec, or they change each time. So you want to have a roster of champions so you are prepared for whatever's thrown at you. But yeah, just a note, we like the command center now. It's pretty good.
We like it now. It can sit with us.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about this earlier, but the Volunteer Guard Day mini holiday is going on right now. And this is only for today. It ends at, midnight or whatever. So to take part in this, you go to a guard in a main city and you salute them and you take on their appearance. And there's a lot of different guards for, like, I know it works for the Undercity abominations.
Yeah, and some of the sentries in Silvermoon. So there's this really funny picture on Wowhead of, someone in Darnassus being this, gilded, like, sentry arcane construct thing. It's really cool.
That's amazing.
And then, once you're a guard, the city invader NPCs spawn, and you can kill them, and the more invaders you kill, the better your buff is. So it's like Defender of the City, then it's like Heroic Defender, and then with, I think, 250 kills, it's Mythic Defender.
Yep.
So that is, it's fun.
But
flavor.
Those are only, the title is only for today.
Yeah, so that's sad.
Will you get to use it in a year, or will you have to do the 250 again?
I think so, because it's tied to when you salute the guard, you get a buff, and I think everything is tied to the buff, which only lasts 24 hours.
Gotcha. So yeah, that's a thing that's going on right now. If you guys are interested, I'm gonna yawn. Oh, excuse me. This was interesting too. So this morning or yesterday evening, all add-ons that had group finder functionality were disabled.
Yeah.
All of them.
So Blizzard was saying that this was causing latency and disconnect issues for players. Let me see if I can pull up the post quickly.
When I saw this, you know what I thought of is that yesterday they also had to disable Diva for a short period of time because she was causing people to disconnect and lag. So I'm just like curious as to how and if those things are related.
Yeah, so they said, today we've changed what add-ons can do when interacting with Group Finder in order to address major performance issues with the game service for players, not just for those using the add-ons, but for others as well. In order to alleviate these issues, we've applied a hotfix that changes how add-ons interact with the Group Finder. Players will now need to give a manual confirmation when an add-on attempts to list and delist a Group Finder group and search for and request an invite to a Group Finder group. Add-ons that are affected by these changes will need to be updated to comply with this new restriction. This is a relatively sudden change, but it was important to resolve the performance issues as quickly as possible. So,
but that doesn't sound like it's getting put back in. That sounds like that's just life now, right?
Yeah, that sounds like that's just life now, or else people would have heavy latency and disconnects.
Yeah. So moving on to probably the biggest news bits of this week, there was the Q&A with Ian Hazacostas on Thursday, and they covered a lot of topics. Do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, sure. So this Q&A was mostly about 7.2. They'll do one on 7.2.5 next month. And, you know, they talked about what to expect with the raid and some class stuff and a lot of pacing questions, because 7.2 at BlizzCon was billed as like the biggest patch ever. And a lot of people are, you know, questioning how it's the biggest patch ever because they felt that 7.2 is kind of sparse at points. So one thing that was addressed was that breaching the tomb quests now feel underwhelming. Players are used to campaigns like Suramar, where there's, you know, cool story things every week. And instead with 7.2, we're, you know, getting like, go do the Sentinex event.
Yeah, go get beacons.
And this was interesting. Blizzard said that they plan to stagger big things throughout 7.2. So like the Sentinex would be available like, you know, a month in, or the dungeon would be available closer to the raid launch. And based on PTR data, they decided to front load all the cool stuff. So now we're getting a lot of the routine things. So that, you know, they wanted to alternate, like Sentinex, you know, is now open next week. Do the boring Sentinex quest. Like champions are open. Okay, you know, kill 5 rares. Like the dungeon is open, you know, going back and forth. But they mixed that all up. And, you know, Ian's like, maybe that wasn't the right choice. Which is interesting because, you know, people have always said they wanted more dungeons in the middle of an expansion. And, you know, we got that with 7.2. And I feel like that alone is kind of reason to celebrate. But the way 7.2 was billed, it's like the dungeon kind of got lost in expectations, or, you know, people expecting even more, which is kind of sad. So, you know, I think 7.2 could have been handled better. And
they should have just added dungeon things to flying. That would have solved this. I think them taking out so much from the flying achievement, they're like, oh, this feels like a small patch. Just because they nerfed that. I mean, they nerfed the flying achievement by like 75%.
Yeah, they addressed that as well. I don't think I put that in the notes, but they were like, you know, assaults made sense to take out because
I disagree with that.
Complicated.
I disagree with that. Like, I played less than...
They wanted other things in. So... They were kind of agreeing with you,
with how long it took to get the rep even to Revered, there was no reason even an occasional player wouldn't have been able to do 4 or 5 assaults in the time that it took them to get revered.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think, I'm not exactly sure why they took the assaults out. I think that maybe if the assaults had initially spawned at more primetime things, there wouldn't have been as much of a backlash or worry about assaults.
Sometimes they need to not listen to people and say, hey, it's going to take you so long to get revered. It doesn't matter that you can't grind these 4 out right now.
Yeah. Well, a lot of humans, they were getting revered like week 2 of the patch. So it's hard to say, but at least Blizzard admitted that, you know, part 2 was kind of thin. Like we should have put other things into it.
Yeah.
Whether that was assaults or a dungeon thing or who knows what, but they wanted other components. I'm sort of on the fence about assaults, but like right now, like I've done all of them multiple times. So I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it would have been okay if they put them back in.
Well, and they also didn't put assaults, they didn't tie rep to assaults, so you can't get any broken shore rep for doing them. Like, so it's less advantageous to do them. I don't know, it's just, It's just, the whole thing is strange.
Yeah.
And you can do them on alts, but you can't do the assault scenario. You can only do, like, the world quests. Unless
right, because you have to be 110 to do the
Yeah,
the
but, like, if
scenarios.
they had made that not 110, more people would have done them.
Right.
So, I don't know.
But, I mean, on the flip side, you usually can't do world quests when you're not 110.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
at least it's something. But,
Yeah.
at least Blizzard was like, yeah, you know, Broken Isles Part 2 is probably a little too easy now, because we took out 2 of the 5 requirements and made one easier. So, you know, that's the thing. This was interesting. They said that Exalted Armies of Legionfall was originally required for the class mount.
Yep.
And they have taken that requirement away.
Okay.
They said that all you have to do is do the entire Broken Shore campaign and, you know, do all those quests that give you 1,500 reputation.
They shouldn't have called that a 7.2 feature.
Yep, because it's 11 weeks.
It's not coming out until 7.25. If you have to finish all the Broken Shore content, like, that was misleading.
Yep. Going back to the messaging, yeah.
Yeah.
And just as a note about what the campaign is, we've discussed that the quests now are kind of boring and straightforward, but one of the components requires you to get your artifact weapon to have a 3rd relic slot. So, you know, they made it easier, but that's still a sizable, you know, quest line and some dungeons you'll have to do. So, make sure that you're already working on your artifact weapon. You can't just, like, you know, blitz and do like 11 quests in one day and have that be done.
Yeah.
So yeah, talking about 725 stuff, they said the raid is likely going to open in mid to late June, and that it's not the last raid of Legion. So we also know that the class changes will have to be done before 725, because that wouldn't make sense if you do the raid and then the next week, like, you know, everything hits. So
no, it's maybe.
That's
that's weird. Yeah, that's weird. No, I would have thought maybe 7.25 would be coming out earlier than the raid then. Oh, that's...
No, it could be... Yeah, that's what I meant. It could be like,
I don't know why. I thought you meant that the class changes were separate from the patch, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I don't understand. I understand now, though. It's been a long day.
They said more Horde story was on the way in a future patch. So people that were, you know, a little sad that the Alliance got this cool Anduin thing, more Horde thing is on the way, because I know, like, Vol'jin is kind of a mystery, and, like, Sylvanas is a new war chief and all that stuff. They clarified Black Temple time walking only occurs during Burning Crusade time walking week. Then going back...
That's so disappointing. So, like, once every 4 or 5 months you can do that?
Well, isn't it 2? It's 2 months, I think, now, which is still...
Between just Burning Crusade?
Yeah, so, like, I think...
it was further than that. That still seems silly.
I mean, maybe if they do a different raid for every time walking week, it would still feel
but
fresh.
they love to do this thing where they're like, oh, here's a new time walking thing, and then that time walking thing. Like, do you remember when they're like, oh, Mist of Pandaria time walking is coming in 7.2, and then it was like 4 weeks before Mist of Pandaria time walking was actually live.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, I know it's gonna be really anticipated because you can get, like, the Warglade transmog on your Demon Hunter, so, like, everyone's gonna want that to always be up.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying it should always be up. It just seems like, I don't know. It should be separate. I kind of feel like you can have a time walking rotation on its own now. Yeah. Because, like, there's so many bonus events, and when we started off, the time walking events were really, you know, frequent. Like, you know, Burning Crusade, there's like 1 out of 8 events, and now there's so many more things. Yeah. So it would be cool if there was, like, there's always a time walking week up, and then there was the other stuff like World Quest and Arena and, like, Legion-y specific things. Agree.
Going back to the 7.2 stuff, Ian was saying that 7.2 is a big patch, but it might seem smaller because a lot of the content is class specific, so you only really see like 1/12 of it. And they said that they had more voiceover lines for 7.2 than they've had for some expansions. And that for 7.3, you know, lesson learned is that they might do more content that multiple classes can see. So less class specific stuff, so more people can experience, you know, the content altogether.
Well, it also accidentally kind of turns the game into a solo experience. Like, I don't play the same
Right.
class as my husband, and like we've barely played Legion at all together because so much of our quests can't be done together. And I understand the
Right.
idea of like, oh, well, you do it with your class, but like, I want to play with my
Yeah,
friends.
I see what you're saying there, especially because they made, I think it's really good that in the outdoor zones, there's the dynamic questing, so you can, you know, friends at different levels can play together and stuff scales, but then you also have these class halls where you can't, you know, hang out with your friends.
Yeah.
Legendaries will be upgraded to 970 when Tomb comes out, and they're doing another legendary feature where if you already have all the legendaries for your main spec, if another one drops, it will be for an off spec. You won't get duplicate ones or, you know, ones you don't need. And it's designed on purpose that weapon illusions cannot be used on artifact skins. And there was some more, you know, little details that were covered, but those were the main points in the Q&A, basically.
Yeah, and the next one is in May.
Yep, and that's going to be more on 725. So 725 is, you know, basically Tomb, a lot of class changes, and those micro holidays and Trial of Style, which is a transmog competition.
Yep, I'm excited for Trial of Style.
I know, I'm working on another like site feature thing for it. So when you go into the dressing room, you can like save your set and say that it's for a specific Trial of Style theme, which I think will be
because the themes are all over the place.
I know, like, I like transmog, but when they're like summer styles, I'm like, I don't have anything that's orange. Like, I just wear black all the time. Like,
I just wear
I need
black
help
all the
finding
time.
a summer
In real
transmog.
life and in game.
Yes.
So as far as other stuff on live servers, there has been a lot of little secret things put into World of Warcraft, more so in Legion than any other expansion, and a few new things were found this past week. The first thing that we found is a new hunter tame, and it's not this scorpion, it's actually this hippogriff. It is the Lolithan hippogriff. And this looks a lot like the time
corrupted mount.
Yeah.
And yeah, the when the Love Tap quest came up in Nighthold this week, a lot of hunters, like, you know, Discord, Utopia, other places, realized that in Elisand's chambers there is this, you know, hippogriff in a cage, and you know, you'll have to tame the hippogriff when that weekly quest is up in the rotation, so once every 2 months. And what's kind of sad is that the hippogriff is tiny because it was kept in this magical cage. So like it's purposely small. It didn't, you know, it couldn't grow. So now you're freeing it. And this also requires Tome of the Hybrid Beast, which, so you have to get the class mount, you know, so do the 11 weeks. And then you have to get power ascended on the Beast Mastery artifact to purchase it, and then you can tame it at any spec. So when people saw it up now, they couldn't tame it. They just were like, oh, now we know where the hippogriff actually is.
Yeah.
So it's cute, though. I just want to give it a hug. Like, I feel bad it was trapped in a cage.
It's all little and trapped in a cage. In other pet news that's not hunter pets, the infamous dog from our garrison is available in Dalaran now. He's showed up. There's a little pebble that you can loot in Dalaran, and you bring it to your garrison, and then when you get back to Dalaran, the dog follows you there.
Yeah, and it's really sad because when you talk to the dog, he's like, oh, like, he really misses you. Like, he's been lonely.
Oh, my God.
And it makes you feel really bad because, like, we've just been off adventuring. We've just sort of abandoned our garrison, and, like, dog is like, what's going on? And when he goes to Legion, he's not in your class hall. Like, he's in the Dalaran pet shop, and the flavor text is all like, oh, like, dog looks much happier. Like, he looks really well groomed. It's like, well, he's getting taken care of with other people, not you guys.
He's not like a feral stray dog in a garrison anymore.
Yeah, so it's like he's happy that you brought him to Dalaran, but he's, you know, he's hang out with the pet people, not with the adventurers that are busy, you know, on the broken shore. And if you're like, dog isn't in my garrison, what do I do? He originally was from the Tillers faction in Mist of Pandaria, so you have to hit Revered, and then along the way there's a quest called Lost and Lonely. So you have to recruit dog there, then he'll show up in the garrison, and then you can bring him the pebble. And he has a lot of sentimental value because in Mist of Pandaria he would react to a lot of your emotes, and he would be like, oh, like, you know, dog is happy to see you and dog loves you. And, you know, he was sort of like one of the first things that had some personalization and flavor, because the Tiller's Farm was like a very baby version of the Garrison.
Yep. That's accurate.
Yep.
I liked the Tiller's Farm. Also, this week we found the Artful Dodging gear. Well, we didn't find it this week, but we found out more about it this week.
Yeah, so, you know, the Rogue community had discovered during the 7.2 PTR that you could get it, but then on live servers it was bugged until yesterday. And basically you get the tier 2 order advancement where you get to turn in the vault ticket, and then the helm or the boots can be in one of the coin chests that pops up. And it looks pretty cool. Like, the set is a variation on, like, Bloodfang, Night Slayer. It looks cool. So, yeah, you can start working on that. It looks fun.
The boots look very monkish with the split toe.
Yeah, the shoulders are cool because they're just, it's like asymmetrical.
Yeah, I like all asymmetrical shoulders. Well, actually, to be honest, I'm mad at shoulders in games because I still play Female Panda, and that's been broken since... It's been broken since Warlords. I don't think they're going to fix it. Like, you move your arm forward and your shoulder comes forward instead of back. It doesn't, the physics of it aren't right. Anyways, I don't really want to talk about this because it makes me very sad, but I'm sure that you guys have heard by now that YouTube creator Haven Games passed away last week. He was only 26 years old, and it's super sad. I don't know. I talked about it a little bit in my video this week, and I had to, like, catch myself because I don't know. I wasn't, like, great friends with him. I don't want to, like, misrepresent my relationship with him at all, but, like, I don't know, we chit-chatted here and there, and I really liked his videos. And, like, I remember telling you to post his videos. Do you remember that? I, like, messaged you the one that he did.
I think, some of them. And, I mean, I had a lot of respect for him because, like, his videos were always focusing on the educational component. It wasn't just, like, sensational, like, hidden area. Oh, my God. Like, I really liked how he went into the history of things because I think that's something that has a lot of value on Wowhead. I like how people can see, like, why something was cool 7 years ago or how it evolved, or a weapon that was really cool and, you know, has now disappeared. Like, I always try to, you know, work those things in. And, like, he did a really good job making something historical and engaging.
Not only that, I don't even know where he was able to access some of the footage that he had. Like, I don't know if he had, like, old builds of the game saved somewhere, but, like, he literally had all the way from, like, alpha development to, like, current of so many zones. You could see, like, how they first appeared on, like, the PTR and changed over time, and he showed a lot of cool things about, like, how they reuse resources and stuff in a way that you don't visually notice, but it's very, you know, an intelligent way to do it as a developer. He made videos, and they weren't like anybody else's videos, and they were really, really well done, and he made them right up until the end. I mean, I think his last video was a month ago. It wasn't like it was
I was really struck how, like, he was still making a separate time, like, really high-quality videos throughout the whole thing, and some of his last videos were highlighting interesting mount quest lines that you can no longer do, which I thought was really interesting because, you know, now we have the class mount quest reappearing.
So if you haven't seen his content, I would definitely recommend checking it out. I used to link his videos and stuff on Twitter all the time anyways, just because I really liked his stuff. But I don't know. I feel really bad for his friends and family because it's so young, and it's not fair, and it's upsetting. But moving on to less upsetting news. There's a lot going on in other Blizzard games right now too. Obviously, Heroes 2.0 just came out, and there's a cross promotion in that with Overwatch that you can get some Overwatch skins and some loot boxes. The Uprising event is still going on in Overwatch for a few more days. There was the Necromancer beta, just had a huge wave go out. Like, a lot of people are in that, so check that if you haven't checked recently. StarCraft has a big patch coming out soon. There's a lot going on in a lot of Blizzard games right now. But we only care about merchandise, really.
Yep.
I'm kidding. Talk a little bit about this Wowhead stuff, because this is really cool.
Cool. So one of the things we've been trying to do on Wowhead is look into alternate ways to generate revenue instead of randomized advertisements, so we can, you know, maybe have higher quality ways to make money, and then that's a better experience for users, and maybe eventually we can reduce some ads on pages. So what we've set up this week is the Wowhead shop. You can now see this on any page on Wowhead if you just go to that top navigation bar, and it's next to community and it says shop. And we've curated various books, games, and various computer pieces that you might want to purchase. And when you click on that link and buy it, Wowhead gets a kickback from that. And let us know if you want any other types of merchandise on the page. Like if you want us to list, I don't know, Funko Pops or Blizzard apparel, we can add that to the page too. And the really cool thing about setting up the shop through Amazon affiliates is that they have support for various European countries, which I know that's always harder to monetize, you know, if all the ads are in English and you don't, you know, English is not your first language on Wowhead. So in the future, we might have some links for deals that are unique to like Great Britain or Germany or some other European countries.
Yeah, Russia.
Also, yeah, also as part of the Amazon promotion, non-premium users will periodically see a deal of the day as an announcement. These are deals handpicked by Wowhead. So you'll see things like, you know, the art book is 20% off today for Blizzard Entertainment, or, you know, this computer is really cheap. And this will not interfere with the regular site announcements, like if you're like Noble Garden is live. You can close out the deal of the day announcement after viewing it once. And this is not a normal ad unit. It's not like this will change every 90 seconds or be for something random like, I don't know, buying a car. It's just like, it's like a little block of text just being like, hey, like this is on sale and it's gaming related. You might want this.
Yep.
And yeah, if this does well, you know, we can look into, you know, hiring other staff or maybe even removing, you know, and advertising it from the page. And we'd like to move into more of this direction instead of having to rely on ads and the tension with ad blockers and site performance and all those tricky things. If you are curious about ads or more details about Amazon affiliates, we have a sticky in our feedback forum that's been addressing some frequently asked questions about the whole situation.
Yeah, ads are tough for anyone because nobody likes ads. Like even the people who need them in order to like function like don't like ads. So there's always like a tough balance of trying to figure out what the best way is to, you know, feed yourself while also making sure that you're not taking off your audience. So I mean this whole thing is kind of coming from Wowhead is listening. Like it's, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Wowhead is listening and trying to do other things and trying to, I don't know, work more things in that are less ads.
Yep.
So.
In really cute news, this is my favorite part of the show.
Yay.
We have Pepe.
Got him right.
It is a new Pepe.
There he is.
Yay,
Isn't
Pepe.
he so cute?
I know.
He's got
so
a little
cute.
backpack. That's my favorite part. And you can open it and it's actually like functional. So you could put something small in there.
Yeah.
I feel like this would be a really cute way to propose to someone. Like I'm married. I have no one to propose to. But like if someone's going to propose to Perk, I feel like putting a ring in Pepe's backpack is the way to do it.
But I really like this Pepe because like his goggles are super cute. Obviously.
Yeah, and they come down over his eyes too. They're movable.
Yeah, you can also take them off, which I think is good because when you want to hug a Pepe, Ninja Pepe is like, you know, it's hard to give him a hug.
Yeah.
But you know, he kind of looks like a regular Pepe. You can give him a hug.
Were yours tack stitched on? Mine are stitched on. I mean, they would.
Oh wait. Oh no, mine fell off.
It would be easy to be fair, I broke on purpose my Ninja Pepe because you can take his hood off. It's just tack stitched. It's only like 2 stitches.
Okay.
I also always undo his wings too because there's only 1 stitch holding them, so I'll usually cut that so that he can flap his wings.
Yep. So he is very cute.
Yeah, he is.
Here he is with his goggles on.
Yeah, he is. He's super cute. He still has the clippies for your head. He's really cute.
Yep.
He is limited edition, probably. We don't know that as a 100% fact, but he's probably limited edition because when he went into the shop, Ninja Pepe went out of the shop. So if they ever add another one, maybe Traveler Pepe won't be in the shop anymore. So if you want him, definitely get him. He's based on the tiny set of goggles in Dalaran, and he is $20. $20 worth it dollars. And what's really nice is that right now we actually have a code with Wowhead with Blizzard Gear Shop. My bad. Talking is hard apparently. That is right.
Yep.
No, wrong one. This one. That is right here, and this is code Wowhead May for 15% off of all Warcraft products, and Pepe is a Warcraft product.
Yep, and I have a fun story about this Pepe. So my original Pepe got lost somewhere. Like, it just was not delivered. And Blizzard sent me another Pepe, and can't get into what they sent, but there's a surprise I can reveal maybe in a few months. And it's sort of like, oh, you know, Traveler Pepe was delayed because he was on this adventure and brought me back some extra treasure.
He
so
brought you back some extra.
thank you to Blizzard. Yeah, thank you to Blizzard for sending us these Pepe samples and dealing with my Pepe that got lost.
Of all people
and,
to have their Pepe get lost in transit, like, no one would have cared nearly as much as you did. Like, no one else would have cared that much. Like, you are the biggest Pepe fan. Like, I felt so bad that I was like, no, mine came. It was no problem.
Yeah.
And your Pepe's
like I had all the Pepes lined up, and they're like, "Where is Pepe? Where is Pepe?" Like, you know. So
you're like, I don't know other Pepes. I don't know.
They were all worried.
But he's here now. It's fine.
Yep.
He's here.
He's here.
We also have a code this week, or this month rather, with Jinx. It's 20% off all Blizzard products through May 31st, and that is with code Wowhead. And they have a few new things out right now, too, like that Blingtron shirt and the Ysera shirt.
Yeah, didn't they have some hero stuff, too? Because, you know, they've been Heroes 2.0. They had some stuff for that as well. So, yeah, they have a lot of cool stuff coming out.
And Wild Bangarang. Also, if you go to their website, some of their dresses and leggings are on sale this week as well.
Yeah, like the Darkmoon Fair dress is on sale, and you know, we both wore that at BlizzCon.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
it was funny too because we wore the same outfit, but we didn't wear it the same day, did we?
No, I think I wore mine on like Thursday, and then you wore it on Saturday.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember. I just know that I wore heels the day that I wore that, and we looked comical next to each other.
Yep.
Because I'm like an Amazon person. And I'm going to talk about something for a second. You get questions. Before I do that, thank you so much to Wernira for wait, hold on. I did not say that right. Wernria for subscribing to us. We really appreciate that. And I think I got all of them. Of them. So Perk is going to grab the questions. I would like to remind you guys that St. Jude Play Live starts today. After this, I am going to eat dinner, and then I'll be streaming for the rest of the night on my channel, twitch.tv/TradeChat. I'll probably host it on Wowhead as well. We're going to be building a DX Racer chair because I'm giving one of those away at the end of the month to one lucky donor. And this should be the year, all fingers crossed, all things good in the world, we will cross $250,000 raised. So we'll see. That's
really awesome.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm nervous and I'm excited, and I feel like I have been waiting for this forever. Like this season of Play Live, I feel like I've been waiting for it for so long, but then it also feels like, how is it today? Simultaneously.
Right. Like you thought it was like a month ago, so you were super prepared, and it still was like, oh, wow,
yeah, and then like it snuck up on me. I don't know. All I knew is that all of a sudden this morning I was like, oh my god, I never made a video. What in the world happened? So I like frantically made a vlog where I forgot to say 80% of the things I wanted to say, but
like we can always help promote stuff.
I mean, it's a month long, and I have more time. I have more time. And during that, we'll also be giving away some cool stuff like this pin set from BlizzCon that features me and Perk, as well as Wowhead premium codes and all sorts of good stuff. But so if you would like to join me for that, it is TradeChat, Twitch on TradeChat, TradeChat on Twitch, twitch.tv/TradeChat.
Yep.
TradeChat.
Also, not sure if Sass wants to do a final call before we do questions for the Pepe giveaway. The chat way to enter is Pepe the Traveler, one word. And just before we get into questions, I think that's really awesome that you're doing Play Live. I know it means a lot to you, and it touches so many people. And I'm happy I can be involved in my little way and help promote it. And,
well, I'm sure we'll stream together for it at some point. I just have to build this
people really liked it last time. Yeah.
I've been kind of dreading doing this on stream because people wanted me to build it on stream because they wanted to see, like, is it easy to put together kind of thing. Yeah. But also I think it's because they enjoy watching me struggle with hard labor.
I also really like all the rewards with the paintings that you're giving away. Like your paintings are always so joyful and happy. And I the photos that you're doing for the Demon Hunter cosplay, I saw them, but
yeah, I showed a few of them
them
publicly, but there'll be a gallery. It's not up yet, but there'll be a gallery of probably like 25 or 30 that will not be available publicly. Like, people will only be able to see the 5 that are being given away, and then all the rest of them will be top secret.
It's adorable though.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Thank you. I thought you would really like
to a good cause.
It's funny because I think I sent you every part of that costume as I was doing it. I'm like, oh, look at this corset. You would appreciate this corset. And then we put Pepe in the background as well.
Yeah, Pepe is very important.
Yes, of course.
So
so that's a thing. What do we got for questions?
So first off, the winner of Traveler Pepe is SJ_420. So grats on Traveler Pepe.
Grats.
And getting into the questions, Ashton EU wanted us to cover the group finder restrictions, and then we did a few minutes later. So hopefully that answered your question.
Good for us.
Regal Hoof said, "What is the weirdest?"
Oh, that's Rigel Hoof.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I just happen to know who that is.
Okay. He wanted to know if we knew like a weird way people have found a legendary. I think when
my sister has been telling a story for, I'm not kidding, probably 3 weeks now. Every time someone opens a treasure chest, I got my best in slot legendary out of a treasure chest. She got her best in slot legendary.
I think when people got it from Blinktrong, that was like, whoa. Like,
I just got a legendary the other day that was actually really good. I was excited, but it was off of Elisand, so that's like not like, I don't know. Right. I earned that. Okay.
I got one from a high mountain worm, which was like not very epic sounding.
That's so random. I've gotten 2 from emissaries, 1 from a world boss, and 1 from a raid boss.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So the winner of the Pepe giveaway said, "What does the golden color mean on dig sites?" It means it's an elite dig site, so it's in an area that's kind of challenging to reach. These aren't really new dig sites. They just took the annoying ones and color-coded them better in this patch.
Yeah.
Lone Samurai 1 says, "Do you think after 7.3 and into 8.0, Argus will be an ongoing developing part of the story?" I think it will be, because Blizzard is sort of moving into this like continuous story world-building schedule where everything is kind of tied together. Plus, always the last patch of an expansion sort of has hints for the new one. So there's been a lot of like reusing of art assets, like not in a bad way, but like, we did stuff on the Broken Shore, and like now we are returning to it, and like you can time walk in more places than before, or like the pet dungeons send you to Wailing Caverns.
It just seems like they're not recycling in a bad way. They're just making content have a longer lifespan.
Right, and it does kind of make sense that you'd want to keep returning to areas that are thematically important. It would feel kind of sad that Mr. Pandaria is like, oh, well, like, now we're done with pandas, and then War was just like, we're done with orcs, and it's like, oh, like stories they have to keep, have cohesion and a plot
like
that
something
continues.
Should be going on in Pandaria in, like, theory.
Yeah, so I think that Argus will have a longer lifespan. Especially with how Blizzard has sort of shifted their mindset into having like more things interconnected between patches or reusing old zones with new narratives, like Karazhan.
Yeah.
Do you know anything more about being the transmog old legendaries yet? I want to mock Thoradal. We don't know anything about this yet. This would be a good thing to ask in the 725 Q&A. All we know is that with Warglaives, if you have the achievement on any character, and then do Black Temple time walking on any character, the Demon Hunters can mog the Warglaives.
Yep.
I'm a fan of doing cool stuff to mog old legendaries, though. Be ready to put the effort in.
Same.
B Miller 218 is, "What is your favorite thing from the developer log yesterday?" Mine was the dropping of the Exalted Rep for the class mount. And I think dropping of Exalted Rep was cool. And I'm not sure if this is like my favorite thing, but I thought it was really interesting that they said breaching the tomb achievement was meant to have all the parts of the content stagger, but then they decided to front load it. And I could not tell that is what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting.
My favorite thing is that there's another raid.
Yeah. Also, SJ420 says that he wants to donate the Traveler Pepe to you so you can give it away on your stream for St. Jude.
Aw, that's so nice. I'll do it tonight.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, you know, we'll give away another one as well. We'll give away another Pepe.
That's so nice.
On your stream. So we'll make a Pepe donation.
We have 2 Pepes to give away. Oh, this is very exciting. This is very exciting. Yeah. Thank you. That's so nice. Yeah. You guys are all so nice.
Pepe is happy. And finally, from Kresnik92, does anyone know if we are going to get artifact knowledge faster now that the cap is raised? I'm not playing WoW right now.
Oh, it's like honestly, you don't need to get it any faster than you get it now. Like once you start, it's insane because once you start getting like I don't know where I'm at. I know I'm like at where everybody else is. Like I'm not behind. You know what I mean? Like I'm wherever. I don't know what the number is off the top of my head, but like you can get something like 36 points in a brand new weapon right now if you're the artifact power that I am in like a day. It takes like 2 seconds once you have your artifact knowledge up. It's so quick because I think that to get it to 36 is like 3 million points, which you can literally get in like 1 drop now.
Right. And I actually have a guide to this. If you go to the returning players section on Wowhead, it explains all the math, but basically you can get to artifact knowledge 25 just by turning in order resources. Yeah. Like, it's just like, you can get, like, you don't have to wait. You just get there, then you do a quest to get to 26, and the artifact knowledge gain from 25 to 26 is huge. Yeah. It's not like, it's like,
you go from getting like 100,000 for a quest to like 1.1 million for a quest. It's like 10 times. It's massive.
So get your alts or returning character.
Not to mention, if you are coming back to WoW now with the invasions and the broken shore, you're gonna get gear so fast. Like I've been loving turning in 5k shards because I've been trying to target the gloves. I really want the legendary gloves. I got the boots, which for shaman are pretty good because it makes it so that anybody who's in your healing range takes 10% additional healing from anything else, which pretty decent. So I was happy about that, but I really want the gloves. And so I've been targeting the gloves, and it's funny because I've gotten like a really good piece of like Warforged PvP gear.
That's not what we expected, but still
I mean, not what I wanted, but still cool. Well, it's cool to do that because I never considered that that was another way that I could kind of get like those appearances for transmog.
Right.
So, yeah, if you're coming back now, now's a great... we're almost at, like, the Timeless Isles version of what's going on, except we're more, like, mid-expansion than end-expansion.
Yeah, and with all the talk that, you know, 7.2 is a big patch and a lot of the content is class-specific, it's good that there's some ways for alts to feel that they have, you know, a chance at succeeding because now you can play their alts. And
I never cared about playing alts until I got flying, and now that I have flying, I'm like, well, I'll level an alt. I'll level 2 alts. Like, it's so much different. Specifically, like Stormheim and High Mountain, they can take a seat for all I care. I've had enough of them, but
one last thing before we have to wrap up because I know you need to get ready.
I have stuff to do.
Speaking of alts and stuff, we've been trying to, you know, balance out all of our, you know, leading edge or breaking PTR news with guides for, you know, basics that players returning to the game could use. Yeah. And, you know, we wrote this, like, AK Ketchup guide. I've been updating things like the World Quest guide. If you have any suggestions for, like, you know, new or returning 110 player guides that you want to see on Wowhead, you know, let SAS know or let us know in the Discord, and we'll try to work on those as well, because we want to make sure that people that have questions like, how do I gear, or, like, how do I get back, or, like, what is easier with flying, we want to make sure all that's answered on the site, so it's not just like super cool breaking 725 news. It's, you know, we're making sure everyone feels covered.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's it on my end.
There's a lot of stuff on Wowhead that has been from user suggestions. Yeah. The whole front page bar is like a compilation of suggestions that people made.
Yeah, so. Today in Broken Isles, and, you know, we keep updating it based on what people ask for, so the whole, like, the Legion is being assaulted, and, like, the next one is at this time. That was totally user suggestions.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. I'm sorry to be, like, the no fun person, but I have to eat, and then I have to stream. I have things to do. I need a cup of coffee, clearly. I don't know if you could tell how badly my caffeine calibrations are out of whack, but they're not in whack at all. But thank you so much. There were so many of you guys who came and joined us for the stream today. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us on this lovely Friday afternoon to talk about World of Warcraft. And thank you so much to everybody who subscribed to us, and for all of you who cheered us and subs our YouTube channel and all of our Wowhead Premium subscribers. If you're unfamiliar, Wowhead Premium is a monthly subscription service. It is $1 a month or $9 a year. It removes all of the ads from Wowhead, allows you to customize your Today in the Broken Isles. You get a special color for your name when you talk on the forums or in the comments. There's all sorts of perks, but the biggest one is that you are directly supporting the content creators at Wowhead, and no ads on desktop and mobile as long as you're logged in. So thank you so much to all of you wonderful people. We are gonna go. I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend. If you're interested in hanging out for the St. Jude stream, I'll be back in a half an hour at twitch.tv/tradechat. We'll be giving away 2 Traveler Pepes as well as a couple sets of BlizzCon pins, and I think there's gonna be a piece of custom artwork as well. I gotta take a peek at my list. Also, everybody who donates is entered to win that DX Racer chair, a big Discord swag bag, a big a big thing from Loot Crate. There's all sorts. The prizes are out of control, really. So we're gonna go. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern time here at twitch.tv/wowhead. Have a great day, guys. Bye.
Thanks.